A new year brings new laws, and that means that in Seattle, a new law took effect that is going to raise rates on drivers and is going to raise rates on passengers. Hey everyone, Chris here for the Rideshare Guy, and today we're going to be talking about the new minimum wage law that went into effect in Seattle on January 1st. What it's going to mean for drivers, what it's going to mean for passengers, and a full breakdown of the changes that drivers are going to see. So make sure you stay tuned for that. So first, let's look at what the law is and why it went into place. So Seattle in the fall decided and voted on a new law that would provide a minimum wage standard for rideshare drivers. And mainly the reason is because most drivers are sitting in their cars waiting for rides and are not getting paid for it. So they are trying to enact a particular minimum wage that all drivers would be able to get inside the city of Seattle. And there are also a couple of other protections that are designed in that law. And like I said, I'm going to be doing a full breakdown near the end of the video. Now, what does this mean for Seattle area drivers? Well, Seattle drivers are going to be getting more money, which is always a good thing. So the per mile and the per minute rates will be going up, and the per minute rate will be on a sliding scale going upwards until April 1st when it hits its full capacity of 57 cents per minute. So that means the time that you are waiting for the ride, that the time that you are taking to get to that ride should be compensated by these higher rates per mile and per minute. So what does this mean for drivers? Well, it means you should be getting paid more. Now, with these driver pay increases and rate hikes, what is this going to look like for riders? Well, overall, you're probably going to be paying more per ride, and Uber already came out and said that they were going to be charging about 25% more per ride, and they're going to probably increase that on April 1st to about 50% more per ride due to these more expensive payouts that they're going to have to pay drivers. Now, Lyft has not really changed prices, at least from what I could see at the time of recording, but that means that they could raise prices at any point, and they could do something slowly. They could do it right away and just not say anything about it. There could be a lot of different things that could happen, but either way, you're probably going to see a price increase. Now, what's really unique about this is I just did a video a couple weeks ago about a report that came out that said drivers could actually get paid more and not have to raise rates when it came down to it. So this is obviously something that Uber and Lyft want to do when it comes to raising rates because it could cut into their profits. And it's only pretty much obvious because it's business sense that you're going to raise rates when you have a rate increase when it comes to expenses. Now let's do a full breakdown of these changes that this new minimum wage law has. Now you can see on the screen right now, this is straight from Uber, and it is going to be all of the changes broken down. And it's not just a per mile or per rate change, but there's some other protections that are in there that pretty much kind of need to be necessary. Now, again, this is coming straight from Uber's blog, and it's titled Transportation Network Company Driver Minimum Compensation Ordinance SMC 14.33. And it's the ordinance that covers TNC drivers performing TNC services in Seattle regardless of immigration status, and they must comply with this law. This law takes effect on January 1st, 2021. It goes on, the minimum compensation says that TNCs must pay drivers the greater of, and it's either $5 per trip or it's 32 cents per minute plus $1.33 per mile. So whichever one's greater is what the driver is going to get paid. So if you have a short trip, your short trips are now going to be at least $5. If you have a longer trip, you're going to get 32 cents per minute and $1.33 per mile. Now that per minute rate is only for this month. It's going to be going up each and every single month until April 1st when it needs to be 57 cents. So you will be getting 57 cents per minute on April 1st if you are a Seattle area driver. Now let's talk about some of the additional requirements that the TNCs must follow in order to comply with the law. And these are some really good changes. And the first one is tip protection. So TNCs must pay all tips to drivers and cannot use tips to satisfy the minimum compensation requirements, meaning 100% of tips will go to you as a driver, which is going to be fantastic. So there's been a lot of problems, especially like DoorDash or other companies that may be using tips to try to pay the driver's base pay. So here's a protection that will make sure that 100% of the tips is actually going to go to the driver. Cancellations. Drivers must receive at least $5 for trips canceled by passengers or TNCs. Now, I don't know what that's going to be like if you are the one who's canceling the ride due to no show or any particular range of reasons like no mask or not having a child seat or any of the other reasons that you might not want to take that ride. I don't know what it's going to look like for that Seattle area driver. If you do know, comment below and let us know. Deductions. Driver must agree in writing to any deductions from pay. So you have to be able to say okay in writing if they're going to deduct any type of pay. PPE equipment, which includes masks, gloves, hand sanitizer, and disinfectant. So during the COVID-19 emergency, TNCs must supply drivers with or reimburse drivers for personal protective equipment and disinfecting supplies. So if you have been buying masks, gloves, disinfectant spray, or anything like that, save those receipts because guess who's going to have to pay for it? Uber and Lyft. Now, I don't know how that's going to necessarily work because if this is one company that you're working for and submitting for, like Lyft, but yet you work for Uber as well, I don't know how that's going to fully work. But either way, you're going to have these costs covered by these companies. Retaliation is illegal. That's a really good thing as well. TNCs must provide drivers with pay information on a per trip and weekly basis. So if you notice, Lyft decided to change how they show drivers the full pay breakdown. Well, now they're going to have to do it on a per ride and a per week basis. So it's going to show you everything all broken down. And again, that's something that is going to be good for drivers. Now, drivers, I want to know from you. First off, have you seen a little bit of change and a little bit of difference when it comes to what rides you're seeing? If you're on both platforms at the same time, are you seeing more rides for Lyft? Are you seeing that they're raising rates as well, like Uber? Are you seeing that there's less demand on Uber and more demand on Lyft? What are you seeing? Comment below, let me know. And also for other drivers out there who are watching this, what do you think about these changes that took place in Seattle? Do you want to see something like this in your area? Do you want to see certain protections in place? Comment below, let us know. Now, if you'd like to see better pay rates from Uber or Lyft and or protections from Uber and Lyft, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, because there are new videos each and every single week, which will help you make more money and different news and updates of what's going on within Uber and Lyft and some other up-to-date information that you may need to know as a rideshare driver or even a rideshare passenger. All right, everyone, drive safe.